Mwalimu Farmer, subscribe!
Yes, today I will look at the book Blossoms of the Savannah by Ole Kaelo. In this book, I will focus on character and characterization. And before I look at this character and characterization, we have to understand the two terms that we have. The first one is character, and the second one is characterization. And we also have what we call character traits. Now, allow me to begin by defining what characterization is. Characterization. We need to understand this word so that when we talk about this, learners will be able to understand better. That characterization is a process. It's a process through which somebody's personality, a process through which somebody's personality is revealed and developed from the beginning to the end. That it's a process through which somebody's personality is first revealed and developed from the beginning to the end. So if you understand that, then it is easy for you to know what we're going to talk about. Another term that we have to understand is what we call character traits. Character traits. It is part of character. Now, we call it character traits. So we have to understand this as well. That character traits is a person's behavior. This is a person's behavior and attitude that makes up that person's personality. A person's behavior and attitude that makes up that person's personality. That there is personality here. In character traits, there is behavior and personality. There is behavior and personality. But in this one, it's just a process of personality that is revealed and developed from the beginning to the end. So you are able to see the difference between the two. That is characterization and character traits. Now, because you understand that, I also look at some terms that will enable us to understand this topic more. That we have what we call dynamic and static characters. Now the characters are categorized. They can be categorized as dynamic characters, and static or static characters. So who are the dynamic characters and who are the static characters? The dynamic characters, you must understand that these are characters who change in the process of the story. They change. These characters change in the process of the story. In the process of the story. Or in the progress of the story. They change. But the ones we call static characters, they do not change. Or they rarely change. Or they change, but not like dynamic characters. These ones do not change. Example of the dynamic ones, those who are dynamic. An example is Ole Kaelo. Ole Kaelo changes. at the end. For example, we have Olarinkoi. It changes at the end. You can take that example, you can understand it from how he comes in Ole Kaelo's house, pretending to be good. Look at how he helps the daughters of Ole Kaelo when they are accosted by vagabonds. Look at how he is good, even bringing some food to Mama Milanoi's house. But at the end of it all, he changes in behavior by luring Resian that is taking her to a Makerere. But the intention is to rape her and also make her his wife. So it changes. That is why we call it a dynamic character. And looking at the static character is one of those characters that do not change. The characters who do not change, or they rarely change. An example of a static character is resilient. This one example is resilient. Why do we call resilient a static character? Because she does not change. From the beginning to the end of the book, we realize that she is resilient. She remains optimistic with her aim of joining Egerton University. No matter what, she struggles to the end. She does not accept to be lured by the culture of Nasila for her to be circumcised. She does not fit in any cultural effect. But she persists until she succeeds to join Egerton University at the end. Now, having understood that, although characters can also be categorized as major characters and minor characters. For example, you understand some of the major characters in Blossoms of the Savannah. We have Ole Kaelo, we have Brazilian Mama Milanoi, among others like Oloisudori. And the minor characters, you understand some of the examples. We have the likes of Lenjir, among others. So those are some of the characters. The minor characters are some of the characters who do not participate more in the development of the story in the book. So we have to understand that that way. So having understood these terms, the dynamic characters, the static characters, characterization, as well as character traits, now it's a high time for us to understand that we have some terms also that are used to describe a character trait. Which words do we use? You must understand that traits are shown with descriptive adjectives. We use what we call descriptive adjectives. Descriptive adjectives to describe character traits. These descriptive adjectives, like the words like jealous, words like we can talk of unfaithful, that a character is unfaithful, caring, one is caring, we can talk of that. We can talk of a character being patient, among others, as we are going to look at the first example. For that reason, I will begin by looking at Ole Kaelo, one of the major characters, and see his character traits. Ole Kaelo. Ole Kaelo. First, you must understand that he is one of the major characters, and he has his character traits, how he behaves. He has his character traits. And we must understand that, first of all, or first and foremost, Ole Kaelo is chauvinistic, or is chauvinist. He is chauvinist. A chauvinist is a male person who puts or places the female at a lower position in society, who feels that women are not able. So Ole Kaelo feels that women are not able. The moment he relocates to Nasila, he feels that women, just by joining other men in Nasila, according to Nasila culture, he feels that men are more powerful and that women are at a lower position and should not give any decision. And men cannot listen to the decision or ideas that come from women. So that is why we call him a chauvinist. We can give an example. While in Nasila, he talks of his daughters getting advised and getting circumcised so that they can be ready to be wives of Nasila men. That they should be advised. Look at that. That shows exactly that he is chauvinist. Another trait that we can give this man is that he is irritable, or what we call short-tempered. He is irritable. Irritable. And this one, we can call it short-tempered. Look at how, when they are relocating from Nakuru to Nasila, it reminds loaders, those loaders who load their belongings, those who are packing and loading the vehicles. It reminds them because of the short temper that he has. You can also understand that even while in their house in Nasila, it reminds Graziella the moment she brings some glasses by calling her a stupid, overblown child. A stupid, overblown child. Just because of how Rezian behaves, which is unique as compared to how Tayo behaves. And because of the details that he develops from the time Rezian is born, because we understand that he expects a son to be the second born. But unfortunately, Rezian is born as the second born, and she is a girl. Another trait that we can give this man, Ole Kaelo, is that Ole Kaelo is caring. Yes, he is caring. We can call him a caring person. Why? Because we understand very well that the moment he is retrenched from Agribits Limited in Nakuru, Ole Kaelo works extra hard to open a business in Nasila. That is a shop to cater for his family needs. And he also goes ahead and builds a home, an apartment in Nasila for his family. That shows exactly that he is a caring man. Another trait that we can give this man is that he is arrogant. Arrogant. He is arrogant. Why do I say this? Why do I call him arrogant? We have several instances. It is evident during his conversation with Soin Olesupero. When they hold that conversation, he strives to show Superior that he is a great business person and that he has made big sales to that level that Olesupero can never reach. So that shows that he is arrogant. He is arrogant. during that conversation between Ole Kaelo and Ole Kaelo. We have another trait that we can give Ole Kaelo, and this one is Ole Kaelo is loving. He is a loving man or father, as we can say. He is loving. Loving. Why do we call him loving? Remember, he loves two girls, irrespective of their gender. We understand very well that girl child is not valued in Nasila. But Ole Kaelo loves the two girls to an extent that he does everything to ensure that the girls are safe. It is even evident when he gets the news that his girls are nearly raped. He nearly runs mad because he feels that love to the girls. That is why he calls Joseph Pamuat plus other boys from El Molelian clan to look for those vagabonds, the likes of Taramuyo and Lante, son of Kanira, who accost his daughters when they go for a walk. So this shows exactly that this man is loving. He has love towards his daughters. We can also call this man rude or impolite. Ole Kaelo, the same person that we have called loving, we have instances where we can call him rude or impolite. He is rude or impolite. Yes. Why do we call him rude or impolite? It is because he says rude things to Rezian. In the house, because of that details that he has been having towards Rezian, just because, as I said earlier on, he expects a son to be a second one, he keeps on speaking rudely to Rezian, even when she is not wrong, even when Rezian is innocent. Ole Kaelo keeps on speaking rude to Rezian. We also have another trait that we can give this man, and this is what we call defensive. He is defensive. He is defensive. 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 He is defensive. Why do we call him defensive? He is described as having a duty to defend his daughters. That by all means and at all costs, he has to defend his daughters. And that one I can give a reason from the case where he goes out looking for the vagabonds the moment his daughters are accosted. He says by all means he has to protect his daughters as a father. It is his mandate to protect his daughters. It is his duty to ensure that his daughters are safe. So we have another trait that we can also give him, although we have several, but let me give this as the last one. We can call him ambitious man. He is ambitious or determined. Ambitious. He is ambitious, and this one can be called determined. He is determined. Why? We understand that he shows strong desire to succeed in whatever that he does. Because after getting retrenched, you understand very well that he does not give up. He does not give up. But he has an alternative. He starts a shop and he also constructs or builds an apartment in Masela, which caters for his family needs. Thank you for this time.